Hey everybody, it's Jessica and I'm back again with the Lovewell Foundation for the August video. So this time I was going to talk to you a little bit about something we call the 5 steps to safety. And I know in the past we've talked about self-harm and sort of warning signs and things to do if you feel like someone might be harming themselves. So today I was going to talk to you just a little bit about steps you can take if you know of or think that someone might be having some suicidal thoughts, someone who might be actually thinking about killing themselves, as opposed to someone who is self-harm, which I described in another video about self-harm, which is when they're doing other acts of injuring themselves, but without the intention of dying. And so that's the difference between people who have the urge to self-harm and then people who are actually having suicidal ideations, thoughts about killing themselves. So if there's someone that you know that you have noticed they're having some concerning behaviors, maybe they have been showing some signs of depression, maybe they've been very withdrawn, isolating themselves. Sometimes they will even mention death, dying. They'll talk about just not wanting to be here anymore, or say things like, I just feel like I'm a burden on other people, or I wish things just weren't so hard. Maybe things would just be easier if I wasn't here at all. Just comments like that can be really concerning. Those are red flags. Other things, seeming like maybe they're saying goodbye. So sometimes they'll express feelings that they have never really expressed before to people. Sometimes they'll be giving away some of their very personal possessions. Things like that can also be a red flag. So it can be really difficult to have this conversation with someone. So you have to commit to be really all in on this conversation. Because if you say to someone, hey, is this something you're thinking about? Are you actually considering this? And they say yes, it's not something you can keep a secret. It's not something you can kind of walk away from. So you really have to be ready to go through these steps of the conversation. So that's what I'm going to talk about, is some ways to maybe make it a little easier in some ways, but at least to give you kind of a path with your thinking, so that if you're ever in that situation or you know anyone who's in that situation, it can try and help you. So the 5 steps that we talk about are ask, be there, keep them safe, help them connect, and follow up. So those are the 5 steps. So ask is exactly what it sounds like. You want to ask and be specific. You can say, are you thinking about suicide? Have you been thinking about killing yourself? If you're that open, they will then be open back to you. So I'm not saying everyone's going to respond amazingly to that question, but it's an important question. And if you really are that concerned, you have to come out and ask it. People will say, but if I bring up suicide, isn't that going to make them think about suicide even more? But they've actually done research, and the research shows that by bringing it up and talking about it, you actually reduce the chances that they're going to act on it, because they think, oh my gosh, somebody's acknowledging the fact that I've been different. I'm not acting like myself. I might need some help. And so that acknowledgement then makes it less likely they're actually going to follow through with anything, which is a really good thing. So asking the question, big step. Be prepared to then listen to the answer. And if they say, yes, I've just thought maybe things would be easier. Yes, I'm just tired of feeling this way. Whatever their answer is, if they say that they have contemplated the idea of suicide, the next step is be there. So whatever that means, physically, go and stay with them, spend time with them to talk. Maybe it means, being on the phone with them for an hour while they tell you how things are going and how they're feeling. Maybe it means just texting back and forth and saying, tell me everything you're feeling. I'm here right now. I can answer you. I can talk to you. You know, whatever that means in that between the two of you, be there. Just be there and let them know you're there. Try to keep the conversation going. Try to find out more about how they're feeling, and what's making them think that, you know, death might be an answer to whatever is going on. So it actually shows that by doing this, they will feel less isolated and, again, acknowledged. They feel like they're being validated. Their feelings are being validated. So maybe there is this, you know, little bit of them that's kind of had some interest perked now that you've shown that you've noticed the changes that that they have been going through. And so maybe this is a little, you know, silver lining, if you will, to them, because someone noticed, someone's spending time with me, someone took time out of their day to call me. And when I said I was feeling suicidal, they didn't just run away and think that something was wrong with me. You know, they sat here and listened. They're still listening. So they feel like maybe there is a little bit of belonging. They feel less isolated. And again, that reduces the chance of them acting on it. So the next step then is to keep them safe. Okay, so now is when you want to try and find out any details you can, if possible. What is your plan, if you've made one, for suicide? What's your timeline? Is this something you've already started? Have you already taken any pills? You know, have you started to find access to a weapon or whatever your plan is? Have you already put this in motion? So obviously, if they've already, you know, ingested anything, we need to call 911. We need to get them to the hospital and figure out what the next step is as far as keeping them safe. If they tell you, yes, I have a plan, again, find out time-wise, you know, so what are you thinking? You know, have you already planned to do this on a certain day? Find out what means they're trying to use, because honestly, research has shown that if someone puts a plan together, right, a suicidal plan, and their means is disrupted, so say they intended to overdose, and someone makes it so that they don't have access to the medications to overdose, it will foil the plan, and they will not impulsively just do something else. So sometimes, if you know the means to which they are making this plan, say it's, you know, a firearm or some other weapon, you know, some sort of pills, if you can make it so they don't have access to those means, you can again reduce the chance of the plan, you know, going through. So talk about specific methods, and then again, if they have access to those methods, so find out about it. Some people will say they want to, you know, I'm just going to shoot myself, and they don't have access to any firearms. So you need to find out what the seriousness is and the ability for them to follow through is, because that's how you determine how safe they are. And how much intervention they need, you know, urgently right now. So once you've kind of talked about this plan that they have and the means, and you've sort of discussed some of those details, the next step is help them connect. So that might mean right now, get them to a hospital because they've already ingested some of the medications, or maybe right now they need to call the crisis hotline. So there is a hotline. It's 24/7, 365. Suicide hotline. 1-800-273-TALK is the number. There's also a crisis text line. So if people don't really feel comfortable talking on the phone, they can text with a counselor. And all they have to do is text the word TALK, T-A-L-K, to 741-741. And again, 24/7, 365 days a year, someone will answer, someone will respond, someone who is trained to de-escalate the situation. Sorry, that's my dog, Skylar. So someone who's trained to kind of de-escalate, and also, again, find out how to get the person, you know, the help they need and get them as safe as possible. If it's something that maybe their plan is for the future, so maybe like the imminent danger is not immediate, and you have, the ability to kind of keep them safe and you have a little time, talk to them about getting them connected with mental health resources. If they have a job, maybe their employer offers an EAP system. Maybe there are community mental health centers that you can help them get in touch with. Do whatever you need to do. Tell them, I will make the appointment for you. I will make the phone call for you. I will give you the number and you can make it yourself, whatever they're comfortable with. The other key is get them to make a safety plan. What that means is if they become actively suicidal, thinking they want to do this right now, they're feeling really badly, make a plan. Step 1, I'm going to call Joe. Step 2, I'm going to call the crisis hotline. Whatever it is that you need to do, spell it out specifically what they're going to do if they start feeling that way and have them sign it. Because even though it sounds like it's just a piece of paper, it will make a difference. If they commit to that safety plan, it's really important, and you need to tell them how important it is. And sometimes that can really, really save a life, just knowing that they have a safety plan in place. So they have this other option. Suicide doesn't have to be that option. They have a safety plan, and there's a list of people they can call, people they can reach out to, things they can do instead of acting on their thoughts. And the last part is follow up. And this is important too, because again, it shows them that they have someone out there that's making sure they're okay. It wasn't just a one-time deal. So say you've had this conversation, you've gone through this with this person, you've helped them connect and get into seeing a counselor and things like that. So days go by, weeks go by, text them, call them, stop by, whatever you want to do. Just keep checking. Hey, just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you. Hope you're still doing well. Let me know if I can do anything else for you. That few words sent in a text or a voicemail or an email, however you want to send it, makes a huge difference, because that person feels like there is someone thinking about them. There is someone that does really care. And it means a lot. They feel connected, and it reduces the chance that they are going to act on any suicidal thoughts. And that really is the key, is keeping them safe. So those are what we call the 5, acts of safety. You can find them all over the internet. There's all kinds of ways that it's put together in different pamphlets and brochures and informational things that are really helpful. So, feel free to look that up. Also, the crisis text line and 24-hour suicide hotlines, those are all over. Again, 1-800-273-TALK, T-A-L-K. Or 741-741, and just text the word TALK, T-A-L-K. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you ever have any questions or comments, you can always send me an email or comment on the video, or email the Love Will Foundation and they'll get it to me. So I hope everyone is having a great day, and I will talk to you guys next month.